All right, human beings. No human beings here yet, so I'm just talking to the ether. Hello, ether. Okay, I have something to talk about today. I want to be a little bit careful about what I say because I'm still processing a lot of it. But basically, I feel like I've just been crashing through life the last year, and not getting Jaimie kind of results, not getting the really good results that I demand for myself, that I've been accustomed to some degree. So I've just been kind of like barreling through life, crashing through, haphazardly, just crashing through life, right? And there are a lot of reasons for this, but the main reason, probably 90% of it, is about a year ago I had this family situation that was a big issue and a problem, and it has since been resolved and blah blah. We don't need to go into that, but it screwed me up, right? Like I just for a few months I was just getting beaten down so hard that like my mind, body, and spirit were just leveled, right? So then after that I've been fighting to get back, which anyone who's been watching this for the last year has observed, I'm sure. And for a while there, I was really struggling. And then, I don't know, several months ago, maybe 6 months ago or something, I was like, you know what, let me just get one of my pieces good. So I was like, all right, I got a mind, a body, and a spirit. Let me take my body. Without my body, nothing else works. So in the last 6 months, I've been doing a lot of exercise. I've been doing a lot of stretching and make sure I'm eating well. And then, do morning exercises. And because I've just been, kind of crashing through life and not having the right kind of focus and everything, I was like, all right, let me focus on manual labor type things. And luckily I had a lot of digging to do and that kind of stuff. So I just basically set myself on all this physical stuff for the last 6 months. And, probably in the last month or two, I've been feeling like really strong and healthy. Like I'm not getting any sorenesses anymore or little injuries, because for a while there, it was like my calf would cramp up and then I would get a thing here and but the last month or two, I'm strong again. And also for a while there, I was getting like skin infections and crap like that. Nothing serious, just like a little scratch and it would get it pussy and it'd be like, it's so annoying, because when I'm really healthy, that stuff doesn't happen. My body just fights everything off, right? So in the last few months, I've been getting really healthy and I'm feeling a lot better. And was it yesterday? 2 days ago. I don't know. In the last 2 days, I was just like, you know what? I gotta stop just crashing through life now. I'm feeling better physically. Yes, Tom, stress is crap. You're right. So yeah, I was, but if you're really healthy, it helps you deal with that stress. And I was putting myself under so much physical stress to get stronger that all the other stress kind of started diminishing by comparison. Anyway, a couple days ago, I was like, all right, I gotta stop just crashing through life. I've been injuring myself here and there. I mean, nothing, I'm not going to die or anything, but just like dumb things like that cut I got on my arm months ago and then, whatever. And I think back and it's like, I can think of dozens of times in the last year where I didn't die kind of because of dumb luck, or because, my last second reflexes saved me, or just because I was durable enough to take that tree branch that whacked me in the head, and I was just like, ugh. Anyway, a couple days ago, I was like, I got to fix this. I'm feeling good physically now. I think I'm ready to handle it. So I was looking back over the last year and just thinking about what's missing. Like, what did I used to have that I've lost, where now I'm not getting as much productivity, I'm being dangerous, I'm being careless. And I realized, one of the first things I realized was that I lost my safety overlay. And some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because I've talked about this before. But for anyone who doesn't know, many, many years ago, I developed this habit of just having this overlay over the world. Kind of like if you're using a computer paint program. You have layers, and you can add layers, and you'll put stuff on the layers, so it kind of like goes with the picture behind it. So the world is there, and I would have this other layer, which is the danger layer. I don't know what to call it. It's just, I don't call it anything in my head. I just put it there, And this layer sort of like marks anything dangerous red. So if there's a board with a nail in it on the ground, and the nail's sticking straight up, like that's like blinking red. This is danger. This is danger. Be careful if there's a table saw going, that's just like red, red, red. If I'm walking along a building and there's around the corner of the building, I can't see what's there, it's just glowing a little bit red because it's an unknown. So, I should pay attention when I go around that corner, because who knows, there could be a skateboarder or a car or a bear, anything unknown is like, a little bit of danger. It's just like situational awareness of where the danger is. So I can always kind of like position myself to not be in danger, to not get hurt, and that's how I've gone through decades of doing really dangerous things without dying, without any serious injury. Like I got all my fingers. You know how many things I've done where people have lost their fingers? Because I always have this situational awareness, and I keep my mind really alert, and I'm paying attention, and I'm present and focused, right? And I haven't had that over the last year. I've just been barreling through life, just crashing through, being really, really not careless, but reckless, definitely reckless. So I was like, well, I gotta fix that. So I've been working on turning my filter back on, because it was a habit before. And then once I lost it, I lost the habit. So I have to get the habit back. So as I'm just walking around my house, I'm like, keep the overlay there, see where the danger is, see where I have to pay attention to. And the other part of that is actually being present, because if I'm not mentally present, I can't do it. None of that works. It doesn't matter if I know there's danger there. If I'm not paying attention, it doesn't matter. And that's another thing I lost. When you go through a really traumatic, stressful situation, you can end up just thinking either about that stressful thing that happened even after you've done it, or maybe you start thinking about just being in a better place or something, just anything, just not being present, right? So I gotta get my present focus back. And that's the other thing, focus. So in accomplishing anything in life, I have learned that there are a few really super important things to be able to do anything. And one is perseverance. Don't give up ever. It doesn't matter if something gets hard or there's obstacles or you make a mistake. Don't give up. If there's something you really want to do, like keep trying. You'll find the way to get through the obstacles. You'll find the way. Don't give up. Perseverance. Another one is just competence. Keep trying things and learning things and becoming competent. When you have a lot of competence, you have a lot of tools you can use to deal with all kinds of different situations, right? And another one, hugely important, is focus. Focus on what you're doing. Put everything else away. Not everything that you should pay attention. I mean, you got to pay attention to your surroundings, but don't think about like what's happening on the other end of the world, or what's going on in the movies, or just all this other stuff that doesn't matter. If you are drilling a hole, you got the drill, you got the drill bit, you got the material, make sure you got it locked down. Pay attention to everything that's going on here. Think about how the drill is going to go into the hole, how it's going to react, how everything's going to happen, so that you can get the best result. 1, to be safe. 2, to get the best hole, so you can get it in the right spot, right? Without breaking your drill bit. And that's another thing. I haven't mentioned this, but I've probably broken like half a dozen drill bits in the last year. And I normally never break drill bits. And it's because I've not been paying attention. I just kind of lean on the drill, and I'm just like, obviously this is gonna break, but my brain's just like, So I gotta get that focus back, pay attention. And one of the ways I like to, well, I think one of the One of the best ways to explain this is like using a chainsaw. Anyone who's ever used a chainsaw knows that there's a tendency to just lean on the chainsaw. So you got the chainsaw and you put it against the wood, and the chainsaw is heavy, and you got to put pressure into the wood somehow. Anyway, you might as well just lean on it. The problem there is you're not going to get as good a cut. You're going to end up going crooked and stuff. Plus, if the wood moves or anything changes or the chainsaw jumps or whatever, you're falling, because your balance is dependent on the chainsaw. But if you're doing it right, you're holding the chainsaw and you're keeping control of it the whole time, and you are slicing through space where there happens to be wood. And if at any point in time that wood were to just vanish, disappear, you wouldn't change what you're doing, because you're not leaning on the chainsaw. You've got control of it the whole time. That's the way to do it safely and to get the best cut, right? So just like I got out of the hot habit of all that stuff. But yeah, now I'm physically strong enough that I think I can use my brain to have that kind of focus without just running out of energy or without getting frustrated or whatever. Because your brain is a part of your physical body. You gotta be healthy to use your brain. So anyway, yesterday I was working on this mud sucker, and it's the last video I put up. It's just this machine to suck mud out of canals, because I have several pieces of land that are on the ocean, and to get from the open ocean like to the land, often I have to go through a little bit of shallow, mucky, swampy kind of stuff. So there's a canal to get through there, but the canal slowly fills in with dirt and whatever. So I made this machine to suck up the sediment and shoot it over there. And 2 days ago, I was working on this, and I was just kind of crashing through, making the thing, and not really thinking totally about what I'm doing, and just kind of doing a half-assed job, And then yesterday, I was just like, I gotta fix it. I gotta turn this around, man. I've got too many half-assed results going on this year. I'm not getting the full Jaimie, I'm operating at like 20%. I need the full Jaimie to be able to do the stuff I need to do, right? And just right there, all the stuff I was just talking about focus, about safety, about just competence, and all that just came rushing back into my head. And I was like, oh yeah, that's how I used to do things. That's how I used to get all the results that got me to where I am, where I've been crashing around and not really doing anything good with it the last year. I mean, not that I haven't gotten anywhere. I've been making some progress, but I could be making a lot more. But anyway, it's like once I really stopped and thought about it, it all just came blasting back into my head. And that's like all I've been thinking about yesterday and today. Like I got to make sure that sticks. I got to get all that stuff to become habit again. Anyway, I was working on this mud sucker, and while I was working on it, I was looking at this propeller situation to suck up the mud, and I was like, that's not good enough. And then I made this super cool coily piece of metal and some other stuff, and I was like, that will do it. And right before I made that, I thought to myself, all right, Jaimie, you know how to handle this situation. You used to be able to do this kind of stuff, right? You got to ask yourself, what will actually work? What's really going to do it? Like, think about that. Don't just crash through and just be like, whatever. No, think what is actually going to work, and do that. And then I put the thing together, and I took it. I didn't put up the video of the test yet, but the test was excellent. I took it outside, sucked up a bunch of muck, shot it over the path out into the mangroves, and yeah, it worked spectacularly. And if I hadn't just like forced my brain to like turn on again, if I wasn't like, all right, what will actually work here, and figure that out, the thing probably wouldn't have worked. And I I would have had another half finished thing. Like what's it called? My conveyor belt over there. It's not terrible. But man, that's not a Jaimie conveyor belt, you know? It's an all right conveyor belt, but I could do much better. I could do totally much better. And I can think of a lot of things in the last year that I could do. I don't know, there's a bunch of things I've done in the last year where I took twice as many steps because I did a half-ass job, and then I had to redo something and then go back and then break a drill bit and just crashing around. And I eventually got there. Like my boats are doing great right now. But I just just crashing around to get there. And yesterday I was just like, get to the thing that makes it work. Go, do it now. And just put everything else out of my head. And yeah, man, I really want to make sure I get that to stick. I really need that to stick and become habit again in my head. I don't think it'll be too hard. I think I can do it because, you know, it was habit in my head for a long time. And it seems to be coming back pretty well. But I think maybe I need to look at this. Maybe I need to keep making sure I look at this, because this should remind me of that, because this is who I am. You know, I focus and I pay attention. Oh, this sign says, to thine own self be true. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep looking at that and making sure I remember what that means. Anyway, that's what's going on. And then this morning I was thinking about the campground I'm making. So I want to make this campground, and I want to have it ready for next year, May. So in case anyone hasn't caught this yet, next year, the week of May 3rd, I haven't checked the calendar, but the week of May 3rd, you know, the weekend, and then the weekend, that whole thing, I want to have an adventure builder meeting here. And I used to have them every year on my birthday. May 3rd is my birthday. So, and it just became the tradition because the first one was on my birthday. And then anyway, so I used to have these meetings once a year in Vermont, and people would come from all over the place. And I met some really awesome people, and people would come and camp out for the week, or maybe just the weekend, or maybe I just show up for a day. But for that week, like a lot of people came and hang out, cool people. And no, I'm not reading the chat right now. I'm going to read the chat. I'm going to be a bit behind because I've gone on for 17 minutes now already. But anyway, so I want to start doing adventure builder meetings again. And, you know, once a year, do a thing where people are invited to just come and hang out for a week and, you know, meet other cool people. And, you know, so I want to have this mosquito. I want to have this campground I'm working on ready for May 3rd. Well, the week of May 3rd next year. And, you know, I've been doing some work on it, but, you know, I'll admit I've been kind of crashing through. Although most of what I'm doing right now is just clearing out, you know, brush and stuff. So it kind of works okay for that. But other than that, I've been kind of aimless. I'm like, I don't know really what I want to make here or where I want to make it. So this morning I was like, all right, Jaimie, start really thinking about this. What do you actually want to do? And this morning I drew this. Let's see. So I want to make several cabins over there. And this is basically what I want to make. So this is obviously a dome. And this is the floor plan. And, you know, back here is the bathroom. And this is where the poops goes, because it goes out a pipe underground, or, you know, it'd be a sewage thing. But yeah, there's the bathroom, and you come in here, there'll be like a bed here or some tables or something. And here's a detail of the bathroom wall, because there will be a water tank right there, probably make it out of concrete. And then well, I might as well explain it. All right, the water tank is going to be above ground. So it's right here, and it's on both sides of the wall, right? So on the bedroom side of the wall, it'll just be a water tank, and that's a side you can open up and get into. And I'll just put like a nice tablecloth or something on there, and people can put their, you know, it's like a nightstand. Unless you need to get to the water for some reason, then you can open it up and do whatever. But then on the bathroom side, let's see. On the bathroom side, I'll make a sink on top of the water tank, and there will be this old style, one of those old style pumps that'll suck water up from the water tank and squirt it out. I think that would be really cool. And that's how you get the water. I'm not putting any electric pumps in here or anything. Like I want to make the whole thing like as low maintenance as possible. And then, there'll be a toilet and a shower, drain and everything. Although to use the toilet or the shower, you have to pump the water. And that's to make people not waste water. Because, city people kind of like to push the toilet thing a lot, and every time it wastes a lot of water. So this makes it so you actually have to pump the thing to get the water for the toilet. So it makes people think, oh yeah, I'm actually using water. Anyway, plus that way, it's low maintenance and stuff. Anyway, I think those would be really good. I'm not sure if that's totally what I'm gonna make, but I think that's a pretty good starting point. Yeah, I'm thinking. Pictures are becoming much more professional. Oh, thanks. Well, I drew this one in permanent marker because I had it all drawn in pencil. And then I was like, well, I might want to show this on my video later. So I traced it in permanent marker. So if you come to the Adventure Builder meeting next year, the week of May 3rd, you may get to stay in one of those. I don't know how many of those I'm going to be able to make, but I don't know. I've got months, so let's see. Oh, and there'll also be camping. So if people bring a tent, not a camp. If people bring a tent, there'll be spots to camp too. And then I've got to have outdoor fire pits and stuff for cooking. But whatever, that's all a separate thing. Use seawater for the toilet. The problem is the seawater is not close to where I'm setting up the campground. Like, it's a little bit far. Anyway, let me just go back to the beginning of comments here and just someone mentioned or was asking if I was reading comments. I always go back and read them. Hi, how is everyone? Joining from San Diego, California. How's it going? As usual, we'll listen, watch later. Okay, these are great to have on the background. Excellent. Hi, folks. What do you eat? What do I eat? Well, I've been eating a lot of meat the last 6 months or so. Yeah, I mean, not like an abnormal amount of meat or anything, but like, I'll go through periods where I don't eat much meat for a while, just because it's inconvenient. If I can get like rice, beans, and flour and hide out and not have to go to the store for months and just eat that stuff. But it's kind of like low quality fuel, right? Like if I eat some meat, some dead animals, then it's just like higher quality fuel. Sorry to any vegans or vegetarians out there. I know you have a different opinion, but I mean, that's just what works for me. And tonight I can show you what I made. I already made my dinner. Can I tip this up enough without, let's tip this down. Okay, there's ground beef in here and tomato sauce and cheese. So it's basically like a pizza, but it's just in the pan. There's no bread part. I also have a giant pot of popcorn, which I cooked in the beef fat I got from the ground beef. So yeah, I've been eating a lot of animal meat and animal fat. Whenever I have chicken or beef or whatever, I always eat the fat. I eat all the fat. Often I'll just cook popcorn in it, or I'll like make some French fries. I think that's probably why hamburgers and French fries became a thing, right? Because people would cook the ground beef and get all this grease, and then like, yo man, let's cook our potatoes in that. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway, when I was a kid, I learned that if you eat fat, you'll become fat because you are what you eat. I've not found that to be true. I have a 6-pack right now, and I eat tons of animal fat, like a lot. And then I also eat vegetables and lots of peanut butter. Peanut butter and oats. Well, almost every morning I have oats And okay, so what I usually do to make my cereal is I'll dump a bunch of oats in a bowl, then take a scoop of peanut butter, put it in there, and then kind of mush it into the oats so it becomes like peanut buttery oats. And then I'll put raisins and peanuts on that and shredded coconut. And I get a coconut almost every day. So I, shred a coconut almost every morning, and I'll eat a whole coconut like basically every day. But anyway, the oats, peanut butter, raisins, peanuts, and shredded coconut with some water. I don't cook it or anything unless I feel like it, but usually I just don't cook it. And then just let it soak a little bit and then eat that. That's usually my breakfast. And then, yeah, well, you saw what I'm having for dinner. Let's see. Snafu, thanks for asking. And you? Oh, I don't know. Stress. Yeah, stress does suck. I recently bought about 30 kilogram steak. Whoa. And 25 kilogram bone marrow. I'm doing the carnivore diet. I see. Okay, so one thing about all these different diets, I think I would actually do totally fine on a carnivore diet. Because like if I eat a lot of meat, I feel pretty good. But the way I think about it, and this is nothing against anyone who's doing anything different, but this is just the way I've been thinking about it. So the way I've been thinking about it is that humans have survived through a lot of situations because we've adapted the ability to eat a lot of different things. Like we can survive on a lot of different stuff. So I don't want to do carnivore or vegan or vegetarian or any particular diet. I just want to be able to eat anything. I want to keep that ability. I want that to be something that sticks. I don't eat sugar. That's about the only thing I don't eat. Although, I mean, if there's cookies around, I'll eat them. I won't buy sugar. Like I have no sugar in my house, and I don't cook with it or anything. But if there's an orange, I mean, I'll eat oranges because it has sugar in them. I just don't eat processed sugar. That's about the only thing I don't eat. But it's not like I'm not gonna turn on cake if there's cake, But yeah, I feel like it's a good idea to be able to eat anything. But I mean, yeah, totally. If you want to do the carnivore diet, that's cool. Let me know how it goes. Let's see. Where's that gigantic spider robot or robot spider? It's been years. I'm still waiting. Oh, you mean, are you talking about the one that I already made? Because I made it. If you missed it, sorry. But I want to make another one. So I don't know if it's going to be a spider robot, but I want to make another giant robot. Jaimie stuff. And you had that close call recently. Which close call is that? I don't know. I've had. So this is the problem with going in a 20-minute monologue at the beginning. The comments are referring to what I was talking about. So yeah, I was talking about how I've just been crashing through life the last year. I've had a lot of close calls, and just didn't care. Like my spirit was just too beaten down to care. And now I'm at the point where like I care again, and now I need to start doing the habits that make it so, Oh, I just got a message. Okay, nothing important. Jaimie is a hole expert, man. I love me some holes. I know how to take care of some holes. I can drill me some holes, all right. Yeah. You give me some holes, I will drill them. Filter change over time as people came into your life. Hold on. Okay. Just another message. It's nothing though. As people came into your life, that filter got tighter. As kids came in, they got even tighter, but then blam, the filters are gone. Glad to see them back in place. Yeah, when I had kids, so I definitely. So my safety filter, yeah, just like you're saying, once I had kids, I was much more concerned about dying than I was before I had kids. And I was careful before I had kids, but I would do dangerous things. I would just do them very carefully. But after I had kids, I was like, the threshold of what I was willing to do came way down, because I was like, okay, I've got to have I can't be hanging somewhere by a string that might break if I'm going to pretty much for sure die. I've got to have another rope that's a backup now that I have kids, because if I die and it's just me, but if I die now, I killed my father's kids or my kid's father. I can't do that. So, but yeah. And then when the safety filter was gone, man, now I'm kind of terrified that I just went through all that time with my safety filter totally off. Like basically my survival instincts have been non-existent. And I've done a lot of really dangerous, stupid things. And because my survival instincts have been off, like nothing in my head said, hey, Jaimie, you might want to not do that. It's just like, no, go ahead, whatever. But yeah, now I got to get my crap together and really. The last 2 days I've been doing good. I'm like reigniting all my paying attentions and all my safety filters, and I got really good results out of the thing I just built. And yeah, all right. Stop breathing. Stop internal bodily processes and just focus on the task. No, I can't stop breathing. I gotta keep breathing. I'll die if I don't breathe. Stop internally bodily processes. No, my internal bodily processes need to do their thing. Well, yeah, I can focus on the task. Part of focusing on the task involves focusing on me. So often it does involve focusing on my breathing and on my state, because that's part of what I'm doing. I'm part of whatever I'm doing. So I always have to focus on myself. Peter Mars, how are you today? Hey, how is Peter Mars doing today? When taking the everything word literally, LOL. Oh, I don't know. I missed something there. Oh, I need to see what you're. Oh, very good. I see what you did there. Wonderful. Thank you for asking. How about you? Oh, Peter Mars is doing great. Good. All of what you're describing is also a result of dull tools requiring more pressure. Kind of. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Speaking of safety, that propeller can grind up your fingers. Are you talking about the propeller on the mudsucker? Yeah, I go at the motor end of that thing, not the finger eating end of that thing. But yes, that would suck up your fingers in a second. Go right through them. Always whole-ass things. Yes, don't half-ass things, whole-ass them. You're right. Jaimie, have you ever thought about making pottery with your clay? Yes, I actually did a little bit. I did a few experiments a while ago. I hope to do more in the future, actually. In the muck you suck up would probably be really good fertilizer. Yeah, the muck I suck out of the canal is kind of good. Some things grow really well in it. Of course, obviously the salt has to get washed out of it. Not for everything though. There are a few types of plants that don't care if there's salt in the soil. And there's a type of grass, Bermuda grass, the golf course grass, that is okay with salt water. So if I suck up muck and spray it where I only want Bermuda grass, it'll kind of kill everything else, and then the Bermuda grass will grow. The nice fuzzy grass. So yeah. But yeah, a lot of things they need the salt taken out of it. You also had your mini Jaimies working with you. Got to help you, yeah. Oh, I love working with my kids. What do you think about putting pressure on yourself to be perfect? What do I think about putting pressure on myself to be perfect? I don't think perfect is really a thing. Like, I don't know what perfect would even be. I do put a lot of pressure on myself to be better than I am. I always want to be better than I am. And, that means I will always fail because, whatever I'm aiming for, I'm always aiming for something that I know I can't achieve. So I'll always fail to if you look at it in a certain way. But the way I look at it is if I actually am as good as I was aiming for, that's the failure, because I wasn't aiming high enough, you know? So I guess it's all a frame of mind when you think about this kind of stuff. Like when you we got to get rid of the word perfect, because that screws everything up. It doesn't make sense to, put pressure on yourself to be perfect. Like what's perfect? It's like asking, what's the perfect color? I don't know. There's different colors. Like like you can have a color that's crappy, but like what's the perfect color? Like what's the perfect you? I don't know. You could go in a lot of different directions and find a really good you in a lot of different types of views, But anyway, yeah, the way I think about it is, there's this saying that I've seen on people's fridges before, which says, aim for the moon, even if you miss, you'll end up amongst the stars. Which basically means, aim for the best you can, because you're gonna end up somewhere good, So that's the way I think about that. I put tons of pressure on myself to be as good as I can be, to be better than I can be. And then I'm never satisfied, but I think that's the way I should be. So I'm satisfied, So it's, yeah. I guess it's kind of a bit of a paradox, but life is like a paradox, It's kind of a weird thing. Like for something to live, something else has to die. What do you think? Oh yeah, let's see. It's a trade-off between building it really well and how much time you spend building it. Okay. So what I was talking about is not a trade-off. So I was talking about building something really well or just kind of crashing through and just doing it. The thing is, when you crash through and do it, you might get a thing sooner, but then you're gonna have to redo it and fix it and blah, blah, blah. And it ends up taking longer, So you're not actually trading off. It's often, if you slow down, almost always, if you slow down, think about it, pay attention, figure out how to do something better, you end up with a good result much sooner than if you crash through and wasted materials and wasted time and backtracked and all this stuff. You end up with a better product much faster if you slow down. And one of the things that smart people do, like really smart people will often be slower to start working on something than less intelligent people. At least that's what it looks like to the observer. But the really smart person is planning, they're figuring out, they're going through a bunch of the mistakes in their head before they actually start real world doing something. And the less intelligent person is just like, well, let me just start doing stuff. And then as soon as the smarter person who's done the planning starts going, they just blow right by the person who didn't plan at all. So it's not a trade-off. It can be a trade-off, but not in the circumstances I was talking about. Build another giant robot or spider robot. That should be useful. All right. Is he even reading the chat? I don't think so. Hi from Portugal. Love your work. Thanks, man. I guess it's kind of pointless typing then. If it helps you put your thoughts out there, why not? I know you've been here for these lives before. Whenever I do a live, I always do like a little monologue at the beginning, and then I read all the comments, which works because, then there's a bit of buffer. I'm not always at the end of comments waiting for something. Da poops, yeah, da poops is nice. The others in chat benefit from you typing. Don't always look for the negatives, yeah. Xanadu, what material? Oh, okay, so what material is this gonna be? I'm thinking styrocrete. I can make this whole thing out of styrocrete with an outer coating of like hard mortar. And even that wall there can be styrocrete. The water tank, normal concrete, and then the floor, normal concrete, but the dome itself, styrocrete. And I like using styrocrete because it uses up a bunch of styrofoam that would otherwise just go to landfills and gives it a long-term job. Because it's kind of disgusting that we use plastics for single-use things. Oh, this is the dumbest thing. Whoever came up with that idea should should be erased from history so it never happened. Oh, would be kind of cool to make it out of bricks from the clay on the islands. That would be cool. And I would like to do that at some point, but I'm not going to be able to do that by May 3rd. Pictures are becoming more professional. Yeah, Arc. Hi, Jaimie. Hi, Arc. How's it going? Making a foot pump. I don't want to have a foot pump. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a foot pump. But in my head here for the, let's see, for the bathroom pump thing, the way I think about it, it would be really cool to have that old style, farmhouse, and then it pumps the water up into its own little reservoir. So you do a few pumps and it fills up the thing, and the whole time it's running out. But then after you're done pumping, it's running out for, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, depending on how much you pumped it up, So it's not like you have to have your hand occupied the whole time. You can pump it and then you can wash your hands. Seawater for the toilets. Yeah, I love to talk to you about this, house designs. Well, come May 3rd, we can talk about house designs, man. What did you do with the big sailing boat? Is it not a giant robot yet? It's not. I'm not going to make that a giant robot. Great that you're eating lots of meat. You look great. Well, thanks, Nellis. Jaimie, do you ever see any immigrants passing by where you are, like caminantes from Venezuela through the Darien Gap? I'm at the other end of the country, so I wouldn't see that. I could see, I'm closer to Costa Rica. So if I was going to see any people sneaking into the country, it would be from Costa Rica, unless they just came through in a boat. I don't know. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't even know if someone drove by in a boat. I don't think they'd announce that they were immigrants. Increase your banana and papaya intake. Well, let me just look at my banana trees out here. I don't see any banana donglers at the moment, so I've got a while to wait before I get more bananas. I do, however, have a lot of papayas. Man, I've got about 40 papayas. The ones at the top are real little, like marbles, but then they get bigger and bigger. And the biggest ones are about that big. Hopefully they'll get like that big, but pretty soon I'm going to have more papayas than I know what to do with, because I have 2 trees producing papayas right now. None of them have gotten ripe yet, so they're just in the early stages of not in the early stages, the mid stages of making papayas. But yeah, they're getting like that big. So yeah, soon hopefully I'll have lots and lots of papayas. Respect, man. Go carnivore for final Ubermensch progression. No idea what that means. Oh no, I know what that means. Okay. Yep, they used to fry the fries in tallow, then change to seed oils, which is really unhealthy. Yeah. So I've been eating all this animal fat, and like if I eat something that's fried in, this stuff, it always leaves me feeling a little sluggish. Like I don't know, just like turn down my energy level a little. But if I eat, I can eat any amount of just animal fat that I rendered off, pork skins or beef or chicken or whatever. I feel great. It's like, yeah, it feels great to eat all that fat. Fat is like candle makes food. Oh, wait. Food burns slower when you burn 4,000 calories. Fat is like candle, makes food burn slower when you burn 4,000 calories a day. I probably burn more than 4,000 calories per day when I'm working hard. Yeah, I definitely do. Would a cut-resistant sleeve shirt help when you are doing dangerous activities? No. It would help if I'm not paying attention, but what I really need to do is just the same thing I always do when I'm being safe, which is pay attention to the danger, focus on myself and what I'm doing, and focus on what's going on. Like just turn my brain on, like have it activated, have it fully functioning. That's the safety thing. I always, There's some safety equipment like hearing protection when something's really loud, or eye protection when sparks are flying or whatever. But after that kind of stuff, 90% of safety, I think, is just up here. Like, you got to pay attention to what you're doing. Like what can go wrong. And every time, as far as I know, every time I've been hurt, I can look back at it and be like, well, yeah, obviously that was going to happen. I just wasn't paying attention. So yeah, I mean, it's to me, the best safety equipment is just paying attention. I know you said it before, but how much further up does the dome go above that second story above your head in the camera frame? Might you ever do a live stream from those heights? Okay, up above the second floor? Okay, let me give you the whole breakdown. This right here, this is like the second floor level. So actually this wood and this wood would be like the bottom, like the ceiling of the second floor. Now, if you see right up here, that is the third floor. It's one of these. It's another one of these, but just way up there. And there are 12 of these all the way around the house, and there are 12 of those all the way around the house too. So there's right above this is another one that's 8 feet, 2.5 meters ish above this. So that's the third floor right up there. And then above the third floor is the dome. And the dome is 2 stories tall. So the whole building is 4 stories tall. However, I'm only going to put 3 floors in. The third floor is going to have a super high ceiling. So I can play basketball, do gymnastics, swing around on ropes, play badminton, volleyball. I want to make a gymnasium so that the kids and I have stuff to do when it's raining out. We can go up there and play games and stuff. Plus, it'd just be awesome. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, the whole building is 4 stories tall. Let's see. Oh, and I'll totally do a live stream from up there. Yeah, I'll do a live stream up there sometime. Obviously, when I get the floors done, I'll be able to do all kinds of stuff up there. Oh, I can't wait to get those floors done. So one of the things is, now that I'm determined to focus more and start making more productive actions, I want to get this floor going. Although I also have this campground I'm working on. I have a lot of stuff going on, but if I can get back to 100% full Jaimie power, I know I can do crazy things. When are you going to build that jet drive for the boats? I don't know, jet drive, is it, how efficient is it? I was under the impression it wasn't that efficient. Nalus Solus was joking. I don't remember what you were talking about, but I wish I could hang a little longer and visit. I'm glad you're doing these live events. They're fun. I have to go. Good luck to you and have a great week. Cool, Ark. Well, oh, good. Mr. Landfill said bye to Ark. Kevin says, is it possible to extract calcium from seawater? I think so. Maybe through electrolysis or something, and maybe grow a shell or brick, just thinking. Yeah, well, that opens a whole can of worms. What do you look up? Is it BioRock? I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff online. There's this guy who did a bunch of scientific tests where he put electrified things in ocean water, and they accreted minerals, and did some really interesting stuff. He wrote a paper on it, and I've read that, and it was pretty cool. Let's see. Got called away, but we'll catch up later. Cool, Tom. Catch you later, man. Jaimie, do people smoke a lot of weed out there? Like they got plantations and stuff? I'm not totally sure about this because I don't smoke anything, so I don't pay attention. But I'm pretty sure weed is still illegal in Panama. So people don't have plantations because they get busted. But I know a lot of people smoke weed. It's just, they're not advertising. So yeah, I don't know. It's something I don't get involved with, I guess. But Yeah, no one I know has a plantation, or at least not that they're admitting to. I don't know. Hi, Jaimie. Have you managed to complete the dragon scales on the roof? No, I have not. Yeah, it's not a high priority at the moment. And okay, so at the beginning of this live, I gave my monologue on how I've been just crashing through life the last year, not being as safe as I should be, and all this stuff. I've been aware of that fact, so I haven't gone on the roof like in the last year. But if I can get my head, straightened out to where I'm making, full safety a habit and everything, I can start working on those again. Although there aren't many leaks in the roof. Like I got dragon scales, from the side out to far enough that like there are no drips around a lot of the house. There's a few drips in the middle, but it's not. I don't know. It just hasn't been severe enough to make me feel like I need to get it done. But I will get it done at some point. Let's see, Kevin, that already exists. Can you do it? It's called BioRock. Oh, okay, this guy knows what I'm talking about. Your eyes develop tolerance to sparks after a while. I took a, what's it called? Like a hot, one of those hot glowy things in the fire, hot cinders, a hot piece of stuff from a fire blew right in my eye once. That was horrible. And I could actually see the burn mark, the outline. But after a night of not sleeping because my eye hurt so much, the next day it was healed. Like even the outline of where the burn mark was on my pupil was totally healed. It's kind of cool. Although I've not tried getting any more sparks in my eyes to test if I build up tolerance. I don't know. Would it be worthwhile to have a rotating solar array, maybe on a centrifugal track atop a flat round roof as a trellis? I mean, people have done that kind of stuff. My opinion of it is, rather than add all the complication and all the machinery to make sun tracking solar panels, I'd rather just add a couple extra solar panels, and make them not move. Because it's when you start having moving objects, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, a lot of maintenance you have to deal with, and yeah, I'd rather just get a couple extra solar panels if I want extra power. I've been watching for many years since you were in the snow building, banana building. Do you ever miss up north? Well, sometimes it's kind of hot here. And I'm like of the ethnicity that I am built for the cold. So I do enjoy cold. Like when I was I would go out in t-shirts and shorts in the winter and be pretty comfortable. So it definitely took me a while to get used to a warmer climate. And it's not even that hot here. Like it's much hotter in like Florida or a lot of places like that. I don't know, the ocean breeze keeps the temperature down, and being close to the equator, you don't get the really hot summer. It just kind of stays warm, hottish all year, warmish, But I'll take the all year growing season over the cold. But yeah, I don't always love, making snowballs and igloos, and oh man, like I would have so much fun with my kids in the snow. But we also have tons of fun at the beach in the ocean. So I guess if I think about it, I mean, there's things I really liked about the winter, but it's not something I really think about. So I guess I don't miss it. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I can't grow apples here. There are a few plants, like a few types of fruit that need cold to grow. I can't grow normal apples here. I can grow water apples, which are kind of like spongy apples, but I can't grow, like North American apples. And they're expensive here. An apple is like 55 or 60 cents or something. An orange, however, is like 10 cents. So anyway, where am I? And since you're getting to this part of the chat, I wanted to know more about your family. I've been a long-time subscriber, but haven't watched for a while. I live in Borneo, so I understand what you mean. Haha. So, well, what do you want to know about my family? I have a pile of kids and I love them. Oh God, I love those kids. Yeah. I don't know. What else do you want to know? You have to be more specific. Their mother and I don't really get along with each other, and that's a whole separate issue. But she lives nearby, and we raise the kids together, and it's fine. But she and I don't personally get along with each other. Oh, it looks like I'm at the end of yeah, I'm at the end of chats, and it's been an hour, so I'm probably going to get off here in a minute. So yeah, if anyone has any last minute questions or comments, you want me to. All right, let's see. Honestly, I haven't watched since your girls were very little, like at least some 5 years ago. Oh, okay, so I have 4 kids here now. My 2 older daughters, which you know about, and then my son, who's 5, and then my youngest daughter is 3. I'm pretty sure she's 3. And oh, they're so funny and adorable. Oh, they're hilarious. Like, one of my favorite things about having kids is like when they're really little, like baby to 5. Well, I don't know. When they're babies, they're just like laying there. There's these lumps. They're super cute. But when they start like walking around and stuff, it's like having these tiny little clowns in your house. And they say the most ridiculous things and they do the most ridiculous things. It's hilarious. And like a kid will just run, like this little human being will run up to me and yell something ridiculous, laugh hysterically, and then run away. And it's just, oh, it's so funny. Okay. Question, is breadfruit similar to chestnuts? Breadfruit is not like any nuts. Breadfruit is like, it's more like a potato than a nut. Yeah. Okay, it's a breadfruit is like, it's like a cantaloupe, but the fruity part of the cantaloupe is like potato instead of cantaloupe. That's basically what it's like. Breadfruit is the shape and size of a cantaloupe, but more like a potato. Like you can take slices of a breadfruit, fry it, and make like breadfruit chips, potato chips. One cool thing you can do is with breadfruit, they're big enough. They slice them thin and fry them. You can make tortillas, like for tacos. You can make tacos out of breadfruit, which is kind of cool. I've done that a few times. Man, I really want to get some chestnuts growing here. There's a type of chestnut that grows in Costa Rica. I know it grows, a Malabar chestnut. I'm not sure if they'll grow here, but I want to get some nuts growing. I love nuts. I love me some nuts. Do you still have contact with the girl you helped building the Alaska cabin? Well, I built 2 houses in Alaska for 2 different girls or women. And I do actually speak with both of them on occasion. I don't know, like a few weeks ago, I actually talked with one of them. She was just telling me how she was doing. Let's see. Thank you for talking to us, Jaimie. Well, you're welcome, Peter. That's great. Boy, I wish everyone thanked me when I talk to them. Most people are like, shut up, man. Nah, I'm just kidding. That's very nice, though. Always great videos. Rex Clay says, always great videos. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I blow it and have mediocre videos, but I try to do a good job. I wish you a great and productive week, Jaimie. Well, thank you very much, Nellis. Good listening. You have so much energy. You inspire me. Excellent, Robert. Have some energy. Phrasing. What is Mr. Landfill saying about phrasing? Oh, I missed something. Anyway, all right. At the end of comments, I think that was everyone's last questions and everything. Okay, I'm going to go stuff my face with this food here. And, oh, that looks delicious. And eat some. You said you love nuts. I did. I love me some nuts, man. I got peanut butter. If I can grind my own peanut butter. My kids rip the labels off everything, of course. But if I was growing my own nuts, I could just make my own nut butter here. And I'm not going to make any jokes about nut butter. All right, I think it's time for me to shut up and get out of here. Okay, I'm just really glad to hear you're doing well and your family is okay. I always thought about how you guys were doing out there even though I know you're a clever guy, best of luck. Well, sometimes I'm a clever guy, but you know, it's easy to screw up. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Look, we just hit an hour. That's